Hey guys, Phylara's here. I'm going to be going over some pretty spicy new Graves tech that I think may be interesting for teams playing at Worlds right now. This is actually going to be a breakdown of a clear performed by a friend. I'm Furby as a challenger mid laner, but he had the interesting idea of trying a Q-start double camp opening. He recorded a video of the clear, which you can see playing in the background, but I'll also link it in the video description down below. This Q double camp method shaves off around 8 seconds from the standard E-start opening on the first 2 camps alone, which is just an insane time gain. But there are a lot of specifics to the clear, so Furby and I agreed that I should do a quick breakdown of it on my channel. To kick things off, I want to talk about the pros and cons of this clearing method. It's not something to use every game. The time saved is really significant if you're clearing leashless or with a weak leash, but if you're going to get a strong leash on the blue buff, it'll die before you can really double camp anyway. So in that case, you should just start your E like usual so you can build up your grid stacks. Now you do take a fair amount of damage on the double camp, but Graves has a really healthy clear, so you generally end with good health regardless. But if you're going for a no refill pot opening, which is pretty common on Graves at the moment, then I wouldn't really recommend this method. Graves usually wants to maintain pretty good HP throughout his clear, so he has the flexibility to break off and pressure if he sees an opportunity. So definitely don't go for this clear every game, but it is a great option, so I recommend that every Graves player learns it. Now on the second half of the clear, Furby uses a really interesting Raptor-Red Transition, but I actually highly recommend against trying it. It's quick, but it's super unreliable, and it's not worth the chance of resetting the Raptors. I'll show a couple alternatives to this method in the second half of this video. Outside of that, it's pretty much just standard Graves clearing. Make sure to E into walls to cancel this animation when possible, and try your best to position for multi-shots. Of course, you don't have to go for the full clear, you can always just take W at level 3 if you're going to break off earlier. You end up with really unexpected gank and invade timers because of the time saved from the double camp opening. But even if you are just full clearing, entering river faster and having better respawn timers is still great. You can actually go even faster than shown in this clear if you have good multi-shots on the wolves and krugs. I think the limit is somewhere around 315. Now I'm going to break down the more specific segments of the clear. Furby demonstrates a double camp method using the lower Gromp wall in his video, but I actually do find it a bit more consistent to use the upper wall. Whichever method you prefer, you just kite blue buff around for a while until Gromp spawns, auto the Gromp, then walk behind the blue buff to push it into the wall. After that, just position yourself so that the Gromp is a bit further away from you than the blue buff, and aim for the Gromp. On the red team it's the same thing, but it does tend to be a bit more difficult to keep the blue against the wall, so you may have to reposition now and then to maintain your multi-shots. Either way on red team, you usually have a decent bot leash if you start blue, so it's not too common to start Q anyway. Now in terms of the Raptor's red transition, as I mentioned before, I don't really recommend using the method shown in the video. The most consistent way to do the transition is just to Q the Raptors twice. You open with a triple shot into Q, focus down the big Raptor until it's low, and finish the camp off with a second Q while moving towards red. It's a little bit slower than using one Q, but it's extremely easy and reliable. Now there is a second method that's even more difficult than the one displayed in Furby's video, but it does eliminate the risk of resets. But you shouldn't try this method unless you're incredibly comfortable with multi-shotting. You open with the triple shot into Q, and basically just multi-shot the Raptors until they're dead. It's really difficult to do without messing up, so I do recommend just sticking with the double Q method personally. That's all for this video. Do make sure you guys give I'm Furby's video some love as well. A gentle reminder to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I do coach over at nice.gg if you want to check that out. And as always, a big thank you to my Patreon subscribers for helping to make this channel possible.